Another day, another talk. Motivation, inspiration, sucking out that fat, man. Who likes that fat? Nobody likes that fat. Time to get rid of it. And today we're talking about like 360 lipo. We're talking about how to get rid of these big hanging bellies without a tummy tuck. We're talking about some lifestyle changes that are going to help you regardless of whether you get this procedure or not. What's up, Nelly? Nicole, Petty Pink? Welcome, guys. Thank you for jumping on here. And if you feel like this content is valuable, because look, there's a lot of people like this larger individual up here that I promise you, and these are the people that we want, because these are the people that we can save, we can help them, because you know that if you're like this, that there's levels of insecurity, depression. It also causes health issues, whether that's high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, high cholesterol. Some women develop hormonal issues like PCOS. The fat itself is causing most of these issues. So removal of large volumes of fat can dramatically improve your health. And again, if you know somebody who's struggling with these issues, and it's pretty obvious, but if you know people that are struggling, then it behooves you to share it with them, because this stuff's not necessarily public knowledge. Facebook doesn't allow us to promote and show these type of things publicly. We're kind of skirting that rule by showing it in video, and their AI can't recognize it at this point. So at some point they're gonna start filtering this out and not allowing us to even show this on these videos. But for now, I need your help. I need your help. Tell your friends, tell your family. You got to share this knowledge, share this experience, and help those individuals who need it. Someone with this big belly, what do they like? Well, they're usually insecure, they're usually quiet, they usually hide, they usually are covering things up. These are just basic signs and symptoms of this issue. Now, you'll see people that get on the total flip side of that, right? And it's almost like they are acting the exact opposite of the way that they feel. Similar to like when a little kid, right, when a little boy likes a little girl, he throws rocks at her, right? Well, sometimes when these big girls, even though they feel like crap and they're insecure and they feel like they're depressed, they try to counter that feeling by acting the exact opposite. So you might see them as very outgoing. You might see them making fun of themselves before someone else can make fun of them. These are all just tricks of the trade, right? So when people have these feelings of cessation, they do common things to avoid the feelings. See, Nelly says, yes, I want to get a hysterectomy, but my doctor wants me to do the gastric bypass surgery before she does the hysterectomy. That's probably just because she doesn't want to deal with all the fat in the way. And liposuction can get all that fat out of the way, so doing a hysterectomy would be way easier for them. So I think liposuction would be a great option for you. And the truth is, many of these doctors they're gonna make recommendations for you based off of what they do, and if they don't do liposuction, they're just simply not going to recommend it. So find out what their purposes are. If their purposes are to shrink the area so it's easier to do the procedure, then obviously liposuction can get that fat out of there and get it out of there quickly. Then you can go ahead and move forward with your other procedure. And you know what, Nelly? Sometimes doctors, like, you got to realize that it's their opinion, and their opinion is going to be based off of their experience. And if they don't have the experience, then their opinion is going to be what's the word I'm looking for? Skewed in one direction or another. So, for example, let's say I'm a plastic surgeon and all I do is tummy tucks. I'm going to tell you that you need a tummy tuck, and there's no other option. That's what I'm going to tell you, because that's the only thing I do. But since I don't do tummy tucks, I do liposuction. I'm going to tell you liposuction is the right option, right? So it's just different perspectives. My recommendations are going to be totally different than someone else's, because I do stuff differently. And so not only am I looking to help you, but there's always a mutual beneficial situation. So I need to work. I want to help you. I know I can help you. So my recommendation, my opinion would be to get liposuction. right? And typically when people, they're searching out tummy tuck, and maybe you've been told that you need a tummy tuck. I'm just here to tell you that you have an option. You don't have to do what these people tell you. There's other options, and I figured out different ways to get these bellies to retract back without cutting away the skin. And look at it, even these huge. This is a huge belly, really big. Hanging all the way over the pubic area. They can't see anything. And imagine you can't even see down. This big round belly, and we can get all that fat off of there, and it's absolutely life changing. It has to be because you're going to be able to do things that you couldn't do before, and it's that easy. See, MG Fly Miami says, "Hello, I had a tummy tuck with no lipo." Okay, we can fix that. And, yeah, that's pretty common, Miss MG Fly. It's pretty common, and that's kind of the reason why I suggest doing liposuction first, is because when they do the tummy tuck, they typically don't take out a substantial amount of fat, and so when they just cut the skin away and they leave all the fat behind, for the first thing is that your shape will be lacking. You'll be more square because you'll be filled in the sides. Just simply don't take out enough fat. They'll cut the skin away and it leaves you flat, but they'll leave a thick layer. It's like big thick layer that if you gain weight, it can get substantially worse. So with liposuction, I recommend we do it first and get all the fat out of the area initially, and then once that fat's gone, the skin always retracts back. Now, let's say you have very loose skin, and that's a big deal to you, and you don't want to have any loose skin, but you have a lot of fat too. So in those cases, we do the liposuction first. We get all that fat out of there, and if you still have loose skin, which it may change, you got to realize it may change it. It might retract back more than you anticipate. But let's say you still want to get the skin cut away. It's way easier to cut it away once the fat's gone. In contrast to what was done here by Miss MG Fly, where she went and got the tummy tuck first, and now she still has fat in there and needs liposuction. My hope is that we can do the liposuction first and completely avoid the tummy tuck. It saves you money, saves you time, saves you recovery. So, we've helped a lot of women to do this, and I've also seen helped a lot of people like MG Fly who had the tummy tuck already and need more fat taken off. I've seen it done both ways. It's your choice and how you want to do it. My recommendations, obviously, I'm a little, my opinion is a little skewed here, but my opinion would be to get the liposuction first. Nicole Reynolds says, "Can't wait for round two. I show and tell everyone." That's good. I think it's like one of those things that when you have this ability now that when you lose this belly, when you get thinner, and all of a sudden you have this boost of confidence, now you have this ability to help somebody else who is in the same spot as you. And that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like paying it forward, if you've heard the term. Once you learn how to get rid of this belly and realize that it's possible, because a lot of these girls say, "Well, I need to get a tummy tuck because that's what they've been told." Once you realize that you don't need a tummy tuck, it's your obligation then to share that with other people, because now you know something that most people don't know. Just like when you see some meme on Facebook or something, it's like, whoa, eye-opening, makes you aware, makes you conscious. This is the same thing. Once you become conscious, once you become aware that this is a possibility for you, it behooves you. I mean, it's like now you have the ability to help other people, you might as well help, right? So what's your response to the ability? Your responsibility, right? Interesting play on words there. But if you think about it that way, it's like now that you have the ability to help people, how are you going to respond? And that's really the basis of responsibility, how that word came about. And many of you may not think of it that way, but I have the ability to help these people by taking the fat away. So I'm out here with my megaphone telling everybody, as many people as I can, because I want to change the world, and I can't. I'm not going to treat a billion people. However, I'm going to do it one person at a time, and each person that I help will leave happier, more confident, and it changes their world. And we change enough of their world, it's going to slowly start to change everywhere else, all the rest of our common realities, right? Our common world that we're all sharing here. Okay. All right, so MG Fly. Then I experienced two spligony, I don't know what that word is, but hernias after one required a mesh. Yeah, these surgeries, like it's funny that a lot of people they think that these procedures are just like you get a procedure and it's like magic, it's perfect every time. Well, that's just not the case with any procedure. Like liposuction is no exception, but tummy tuck, all these procedures you have, there's going to be issues, right? So instead of thinking that you're going to choose a surgeon and avoid all potential problems, that's just not really realistic. But rather, your focus should be in understanding what the potential problems are and trying to avoid them by doing specific things that will reduce the risks. So, for example, it's a known risk that it's possible to get an infection after any procedure. So what do? We give patients antibiotics. We train you on wound care and keeping everything clean. But it's your responsibility then. Once you leave the office, it's your responsibility to take care of these wounds. And if you're not taking care of them, then you're going to be at a higher risk for infection. So it behooves you to learn what to do, right? So it's keeping everything clean, protecting the wounds, making sure everything's covered and clean the whole time so it allows for the body to do its own thing, which is heal. We don't make the body heal. All we do is create the opportunity for the body to heal. And sometimes things don't heal because we're not doing the right things. Okay, how long is the recovery of lipo? It's significantly shorter than a tummy tuck. It is traumatic in the body, and the body's response is you're going to be swollen and sore after the procedure. So afterwards, you're going to be a little bit sore and stiff and achy. So it may slow you down a little bit, but it's not going to stop you. In many cases, you can do all the same things you did before the procedure fairly quickly, within 3 or 4 days. You'll just be a little bit slower. You're going to be swollen. So with sedentary type jobs, our statistics show that patients are able to get back to work within 3 or 4 days. It's pretty reasonable. Okay, so you had to put a mesh. The mesh would not interfere with lipo. Okay, yeah. So when you have a hernia is essentially an opening on the muscle on the bowels. Herniate out or bulge out through that hole that was created in the muscle wall. So when they put a mesh on there, it's just like what it sounds like, a mesh from your window. It's basically like a I don't know what they make it out. They make it out of steel or maybe it's some type of composite. But they put that in there, then they sew that into the muscle, so it adds strength to the muscle. But you remember it's on the muscle layer. It's right on top of the muscle layer, and the fat layer is above the muscle layer. And we're only working in the fat layer where we're not getting down to the muscle layer. We'll get close down there, but we're not gonna get in there. We're certainly not gonna cause any problems with the mesh, so that shouldn't be an issue. However, it is important that you want to wait and give it ample time to heal in order to go back and do the liposuction, because it's possible that we might catch things. It's possible that we might open up wounds. So you want to make sure that you're healed well. Okay, La Queen says, yeah, my sister got her body done and she wants lipo now. It's pretty common. Like I said, these girls get sold on these they'll call it these mommy makeovers, and it's they'll do everything like tummy tuck, boob job, and lipo for $25,000, like something crazy. And this is we can do the same mommy makeover type procedure, and the mommy makeover, realize, is just a term. It doesn't actually mean anything. It only means what you believe it to mean. So it doesn't mean that you have to get a tummy tuck. Mommy makeover certainly does not mean that you have to get a tummy tuck. It certainly doesn't mean that you have to get a boob job or any of that. It's whatever you need. So if you're a mommy and you need liposuction, then that's a mommy makeover. It's just a word. You guys got to catch up with the times here and realize that it's just nomenclature. And so you have to better understand the message that we're trying to get across with the words. Okay, MG Fly says, so you can lipo with a patient that has a mesh in the abdomen. I'm an NP. Nurse practitioner. Love nurse practitioners. Yeah, we can do liposuction with people that have mesh. We've done plenty of them in the past, and there's never been an issue. But again, you just have to give it ample time to heal. Usually that's about 6 months. What's up, Jeanette, Nicole, Jesse, Tiffany? Welcome, Danielle, Stewart. Nicole says, can't wait for round 2. Luga, Garcia, Nora, Danielle. Danielle says, "Love you guys. Ready to come back for my round two." That's it's always nice to hear our previous patients talking like that, because that means that they're obviously happy, right? They're obviously happy with my service, with their office service, with everything's going well for them, or else they wouldn't come back. So it's definitely, I think that's the best testimonial you can ever hear. And if you're on these lives long enough, you're hear it so many times. So many of our patients come back from multiple procedures, um, simply because it's awesome. I mean, it's really amazing what we can do. You can go from this really heavy set individual, and we can help you to transform your life. And these larger individuals, you need the whole belly, the waistline, but also you have the arms, the underarm, back, you have the chin, and then you may want to address your thighs as well. All this can be addressed with liposuction, but it doesn't have to be done all at once, and it cannot be done all at once. It's spread out as multiple procedures, which means that you don't have to do it. You don't have to expect to spend all this money, get all done all at once. It doesn't have to be done that way. You can spread it out over years if you wanted to. I mean, we have many of our patients that they come and get these procedures, and they take 6 months in between. They get another procedures, a year in between. They save up money, then they come get another procedure. But all in the whole process, all along, they're changing their lifestyle habits. They're doing the things that are necessary to live the right lifestyle to maintain these results. Because the biggest problem that people find after these procedures is if you don't maintain the results, it's inevitable that you're going to recreate the same thing that you were before. So if you were consistently gaining weight throughout your life with the lifestyle that you're eating, the diet that you're eating, the activity levels that you're going by, if you're consistently gaining, and then we do liposuction, it's going to be like this. It'll be like the stock market. It drops down and then right back up. So you have to change, right? So we want to, we want to stop this increase and start bringing down. And with liposuction, we can give you a steep decline and get you, back on your feet, back on level ground, to allow you to, start doing the things that are necessary to live a healthier lifestyle. And if you do make those change, you maintain. And 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, you're still looking awesome. In fact, you're looking way better. That's the power of this liposuction. It's somehow it acts as a catalyst of the mind. It allows you to make the decisions that you need to make in order to live the healthier lifestyle. And ultimately, it all comes down to choice, right? We all have free will. That's what they tell us, right? I don't know. I mean, you can have your opinion whether you believe it's true or not, but we all have this ability, we believe, to make choices. So what are the choices that matter? That's the key, is when you start to figure out where you're making those mistakes. And I'll tell you, it's not that difficult to figure out. It's when you're deciding what to eat, what to put in your mouth. That's the choice you need to make a decision. It's when you're deciding, oh, I want to go to the gym. Oh, but I'm tired. That's the choice to make. You got to make the right choice then. When it's, that's when it's challenging. It's literally, we're talking like a moment in time that you have to be strong. Just a moment in time you have to be strong. And then once you start moving forward, you create that momentum and you start doing. Once you start doing, things become easier. Okay, GX, I don't know what that says. Instagram. She says, how much is Lipo 360? So we tried to make this process as easy as possible. First of all, most of our patients, about 80% of them, are flying in from out of state. So we make this process as simple and easy as possible. To get your pricing, you're going to simply go to, we have a quick quote, and I have pinned it here on Instagram. It's up in the post on Facebook, and it's in the comments on YouTube. So you're going to simply click on that link, or you're going to copy and paste the link and put it in the toolbar, and you go enter some basic information, answer some simple questions about what you want, and it'll give you an accurate quote. And also, based off of your BMI, it gives you, it'll group you into our safety protocols. So it gives you specific recommendations depending on your weight. We can't do everything all at once. So we try to isolate. So what I mean by that is the larger individuals, When you get to a certain point, you're carrying so much weight in front of the abdomen that the recommendations are to break it up. So we need to get the fat off the front of the abdomen first and maximize the amount of fat that we get off of there. That way the belly fold goes away. If we're less aggressive, the belly fold doesn't go away, right? So if we try to cover a larger area with liposuction, we're not able to get out as much fat on an isolated area, and then those big dramatic changes that you're accustomed to seeing from MyShape Lipo, that can't occur. So the way that we do this, our process, the way that we have found the success doing this is we isolate on larger individuals. We take the massive amount of fat off the front of the belly, which makes everything flat. We also, since the goal is to get rid of that fold, we also go into the pubic area because typically larger individuals are going to have not only that fold, but they have fullness down in the pubic area, or the fupa, they like to call it. So definitely you're going to go get the quick quote. And then once you see the pricing, you'll have a better idea of what to expect. And once you realize that this is well within your reach, and you're ready to move forward and you want to change your life, the next step is getting your formal consultation. And the formal consultation is where you can send in some photos and I will meet with you directly through phone. So we discuss any of your questions and concerns. Now we do charge $100 for the formal consultation, and again, it's you and me time. All of our patients, so if you're going to get a procedure, we require a formal consultation as part of the process, as part of the procedure, part of the cost. So it's $100 up front, and if you move forward, that's all, is part of the procedure. If you want to get the procedure, you have to get the formal consultation. If you can choose to get the formal consultation, pay $100 and not get the procedure, but that's your choice. Lovely Claus, what's up on YouTube? If you guys have any questions, I'm here for you. And I want to let you know, we are creating a lot of new content on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, please join us on TikTok. We want some more users. We are about to break 1,000, which will then allow me to go live on TikTok as well. But TikTok's it's a different platform, so we treat it differently and we create different content. And it's fun. It's they play music, and it's more skewed towards the younger population, so it's more joking, having fun. But we try to provide a lot of the before and after photos there, as well as I answer a lot of frequently asked questions to similar to what I'm doing here on the live, but it'll allow you to get it in a smaller chunks on TikTok. And Kat on Facebook, Kat at MyShape, one of our medical assistants, she is posting the link for the formal consultation. So when you're ready to take it to the next level, the formal consultation is the way to go. I've had a lot of patients recently that have been, telling me how they struggle with the, making these decisions and making their choices. I see Lovely Claus says, are we required to get post-op massages? So we don't require the lymphatic massages. However, it's your choice, and if you choose to do it, it's an additional charge. We don't do them ourselves. So it's an additional charge, and typically, especially if you're coming from out of state, you want to make arrangements back home. The lymphatic massages are nice. They do a couple of things that benefit you and make things better. First of all, in the healing process, when you wear the compression garments, if they have any ridges in it, any folds in the garment, like when you bend forward and your belly normally folds, sometimes that the compression garment will put more pressure on that direct area, which means that it causes a ridge or an irregularity. And some of those ridges or irregularities, if you leave them alone, the body will form scar tissue in that position, and that can become permanent. So the advantage of doing the lymphatic massages often is to alleviate some of those adhesive tissue, that binding up, that folding, and basically smooths things out. And they also help to get out any excess drainage. They help to improve the swelling and edema that you might have. So it helps the circulatory process. There's many benefits to you, but it's not, you know, we don't require it. It's your choice. And many people choose to do it because they think it's better. And, you know, you have the choice to do that. Now, I know some of the girls, if you join our private Facebook group, I know some of those girls have opted to do different options. Some of them have opted to use, you know, to do the massages on their own. And I think there's YouTube videos that can teach you how to do that. And you know, whether that's right or wrong for you, it's your choice. Okay, how many days before and after can I fly over for surgery? So we typically recommend that you fly in the day before the procedure to get checked in, and then you stay for 2 nights after the procedure. And the reason for staying afterwards is this, that you're going to be draining copious amounts of fluid. So the fluid that we use to get you numb during the process and allows us to do it while you're awake, all that fluid, it needs to come out of your body. So we want to encourage the drainage of that fluid as much as possible. The holes are left open on purpose so we can drain out substantially more. And this is in contrast to what a lot of plastic surgeons do, where they put drains in. So a drain is essentially a tube that you leave the tube on the inside, and it's attached to positive pressure on the outside like a suction bulb, and it'll essentially suck out the fluid. Now, the problem that I've seen with those is that the tube, it goes in, and if it gets clogged up with tissue, then you don't get the drainage. And if you don't get the drainage, you tend to get a lot more swollen, and you have problems after the procedure that are related to the swelling. So this way, when we leave the wounds open, they're tiny little holes, and we get the fluid to drain out substantially better, and we have less issues with the swelling. Now, the downside is sometimes those wounds have a harder time healing. So we've had challenges with that as well, but it's, you know, this is kind of give and take, and we are doing the best that we can, and we're always looking for ways to improve. So, you know, we are actually in the process now of developing new options for people who have issues with whether it's wound issues. For example, some people experience keloiding after procedures. So if you tend to keloid, then we have the option after the procedure. Now we can offer you steroid injections into the scars. And so what happens is these scars will bulge out, and they'll kind of like, they'll be like raised, and they might be darker. And so in cases like that, we can inject a little bit of steroid right in the area where the scar is. And what it does is it causes the inflammation to diminish dramatically, and it also causes the pigmentation to decrease. Now, that's great. However, it can also do a little bit too much. So instead of getting that pigmentation down to your normal skin color, it might take out too much of the pigmentation, so it's a lighter color. It also might cause an indentation, or what they call an atrophy of the tissue in the area that we inject. So we may be trying to fix one thing, and we may be causing one other problem. So this is something that you just need to understand the process, how this stuff works. And if you want to do this, it's definitely available now. And it's quick, it's easy, it's one-time injection. Maybe requires multiple, just depends on how you're doing. What's up, Stacy? Okay, Lovely Claus. She said, I had gastric bypass 2 years ago and have 6 keloid scars. Would you be able to go in through one of them and then do the steroid shots? That's when people have multiple scars from previous procedures. In some cases, I can use them, but it's really, I get my consistent results because I have access points at consistent places, and I do the same things consistently, and it allows me to get the results that I get. What I found is when I start changing, it's the periods in time when I start shifting and changing that you get different results. Now, that might be a good thing, or it might be a bad thing. Okay, so but when I do things the way I've always done them, I know the consistent results that I get. When I start to shift and change and do things, I can either be shifting and changing to try and improve, and then we look and see what the results are, or like in this situation, if you ask me to do something that I don't normally do, like if I try to go into a hole or an incision where a point where I normally don't go, it's not part of my normal routine, and I may miss things because of it. So if these scars are in the proper places for me, then I can reuse them. If they're not in the proper places at all, then I wouldn't recommend it. it's just not recommended. It's not to say that I can't do it. If you really want me to do it, I can try, but I'm just telling you, I've done thousands and thousands of these procedures, and I know myself, and I know what I'm capable of, and I know how I get the results that I get, and I just want to continue to do them consistently. What's up, Maria, Beverly, Tiffany, Barbara, Christine, Shannon, Hodel, Alicia? Welcome. If you guys are just jumping on here, you can go get pricing. We offer pricing through our quick quote system up in Facebook. It's in the post on Instagram here. I pinned it and it's on YouTube as well in the comments. You get instant pricing. It's quick and easy. And depending on your BMI, it'll give you different recommendations and quotes for someone your size. And we also have pictures on there, and it's relevant to your BMI. In addition, I've answered through videos many of the frequently asked questions, so you can kind of get a better idea. Okay, Lovely says, understandable, I'll still get the injections as well. Okay, Lovely, it's really just, I don't want to, say no, but what I want to tell you is just that, these are the things that we decide the moment of, the day of. So when you get on my table, I'm going to look at it, and if you have these things in the right position and everything lines up properly, then we're gonna go ahead and do my thing. And if it's not, it's like especially it's a different surgery, right? So they're doing the incision points that work well for that surgery, not necessarily for this one. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we just we do our best, and I'm cognizant of trying to help you out as much as I can. So I will, do the best that I can to reduce the amount of scars, but they're tiny little scars, tiny little puncture holes, and even if you keloid, it's like I say it's only, right? It's not my body, it's your body, but it's a little bulge, a little bump right there. It's not like you're having a huge long incision, but I know it can have certain looks, and it can be darker than your normal skin color, so. People don't like that, so we'll do what we can to help you out. And just know there's options, right? If you need these things, they're available. But the cool thing when you see the pictures like this is that you see how that belly button hangs, and so the sad face on his belly button. The reason that is that way is because this individual had loose skin. And with the weight pulling down on the loose skin, the belly button is a point of contact, so it causes that folds. But you can see when you get the fat out of there, the belly button changes back. That sad face look from the belly button, it goes away. And these are just like simple basic laws of physics that the skin is going to be pulled down by gravity, and it's going to be equivalent to the weight or the mass that the fat carries, and gravity is going to pull it down a certain way, which causes the belly to sag, causes the hanging portion, so when it folds, this is all due to the mass and gravity. It's simple physics. So when we take the stuff away, physics dictate that gravity exerts less pressure, and when it exerts less pressure, the skin's allowed to bounce back. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just rational, right? And I don't understand how these other doctors can't see the same pictures that I'm seeing, can't see and understand. And part of the reason why I think this happens is that many doctors, they're like robots. They were told this is what you should do during their residency or their training. This is the way you should do it, and then they never change. They just do what they were told to do, like a good robot that they are. And I hate listening to people. I'm one of those people that I have to learn lessons on my own. I have to make my own mistakes. And fortunately for you, I've made a bunch of mistakes years and years ago, and now I've developed everything to avoid all that stuff. And the only reason I was able to avoid a lot of the problems is because I took the risks to see what would happen. And, I tried things differently, and when you try things differently, you get different results. In comparison, when you do the same things over and over, and you do the same way that you were trained, and you never change because that's the way you were trained, you tend to get exactly the same results, and you never improve. Things don't get any better. The problems that you have in the beginning are the same problem you have at the end of your career, and that's a shame. It's terrible, in my opinion. I think that life is about steady improvement and steady growth. And so for me personally, I'm always trying to improve. I'm always trying to get better. I'm always trying to advance my mind, my body, my spirit, everything. I'm trying to elevate. And when you do that, that's why you keep seeing these results get better and better and better. And we're learning new things. The things that I'm talking about now, I didn't talk about a few years back. The techniques that I discuss now, we just simply didn't have. They didn't exist. The ability to do some of these things, like getting rid of that fold at the bottom of the belly, like this, I've been working at it for years, but it hasn't been consistent, not until recently. And why has it become consistent? I tried something different. We previously, the way that we used to do our pricing was off of by areas. And so what happened was many women would do like the front of their belly, and because it would cost extra, they wouldn't do the pubic area. So, excuse me. So what I noticed is that those who did the pubic area, the fold went away. I was like, that's weird, right? I was still taking out a lot of fat when I didn't do the pubic area, but why did the fold go away? And I had to contemplate and meditate over it and try to think of what was happening on a micro level, the small level, to explain how this is happening, where the bellies go away completely. So what I found was that our body creates connective tissue, fibrous tissue, whatever you want to call this stuff, this white tissue. Um, it creates it to help support the body. So when you start gaining weight, and when you start gaining weight and gravity starts pulling the belly over, you'll get a fold, right? And if it folds like that consistently, it stays there long enough, your body creates connective tissue to help support the body, so it can, it's struggling, right? This weight's being pulled down, and the body's like, okay, we got to create more connective tissue to hold everything up. So it creates all this connective tissue. Think of this like the 2x4s of a house. It's this foundational structure, and so the connective tissue holds everything together. This individual right here, she wore her pants right along this line right here, and the body's reaction was it created connective tissue to remember that that's where the pants are supposed to go. They go there every day. So the body remembers, hey, let's just create a fold there because it'll be easier. We need support and everything, and we'll just create a fold. So that's what happened with this lady. And this was in response to her actions. She took action and pulled her pants up because she didn't want this lower portion hanging out. Lots of girls do this, right? It's not just her. So they wear their pants up in the middle of the abdomen here, and it causes a secondary fold. So you get that fold down at the bottom, then you get a secondary fold here up the top. Now, I get rid of both folds the same way. It's that connective tissue. It's the fibrous tissue. It's like the memory of the tissue. It helps and hold the body in that position. So what I do is I go in there and I scramble the brains of the tissue, right? So I scramble the memory, and the body forgets. It forgets that it's supposed to fold there. And you have like a fresh palate. So as you heal, you put the compression garments and you hold the skin in position, and the body will form scar tissue in whatever position it's in for an extended period of time. So you keep everything flat and smooth like this, and the folds disappear. The body creates scar tissue, connective tissue, and holds it in the position the way that you want it. And if you do this properly, the fold can go away. And it's possible. It's possible for you. I showed this case in particular because this was very advanced, very challenging, very difficult. And if it's possible for someone like this, then it's possible for you. Now you can see from the side view that this was treatment only of the front of the abdomen. So I posted this picture on TikTok, and someone was like, yeah, but she's got a fold towards the back. Well, we didn't treat there. Not yet, at least. But you can see that fold ended. Her body doesn't remember that it's supposed to fold there anymore because I broke up all that connective tissue. This is the power of liposuction. This is what nobody really talks about. This is the details that, if you're rational minded, you can start to see this stuff, and it makes sense. Okay, but doctors like to lie to you and tell you like it's way more complex than it really is. This is not rocket science. We're taking fat out of people. Okay, this is not rocket science. I'm here to explain how this stuff happens, why it works, and hopefully you can understand through rational thought why this is right for you. Okay, you make your quick quote too difficult. Answers are you're charging 109 for consultations. Keep in mind that a lot of people are not only paying a lot of money to drive out there, but like you said, you would, I don't know what you're saying, doing me. The quick quote, I mean, if you think it's difficult, I'm sorry, I can make it, easier, but then it's not as functional. I don't know, maybe we'll change stuff. If you're the first person that's complaining that's too difficult, because I don't think it is, but if you can give me more input on how specifically it's too difficult, I'd be happy to do that. But the consultation, again, you don't have to get a formal consultation if you're not going to get a procedure. So don't pay the $100 if you don't want to get a procedure. But if you want to get a procedure, then it's part of the process. You got to speak to me. I mean, that's just the way it is. If you go anywhere else, I don't know, maybe you talk with only the surgical coordinator or something like that. But I mean, I want to talk to my patients. I want to make sure that we're both on the same page, and we're talking $100 on an $8,000 procedure. $100, it's part of the cost. I mean, the way you're thinking is so small-minded here that you're going to go, if you're going for the cheapest stuff, then you're going to go to Mexico or go to Colombia or go to the Dominican Republic, and you go there, you might not come back, but it's cheap. Oh, it's super cheap. You should go, right? You should go look up the stories. I mean, I can't tell you how many patients I have that have gone there and they got shitty results, and I had to fix it. And now it was cheap down there, but now you got to pay to get it fixed. So look, I'm not offering the cheapest. I'm not, it's not like that. This is the best, right? I still think it's a very great value and substantially less than a lot of places across the country. But I'm not the cheapest. I'm the best. And if you want to pay for the best, then it costs you. But I'm very reasonable, very reasonable. Yeah, I mean, gas and room, I get it. But it's 25 grand for a tummy tuck to get the same type of results. So, if you're, you just kind of keep this in logic and reason. I mean, I hear what you're saying. But I have bills to pay just like you do. I have staff to pay just like you do. I have insurance, and all that stuff keeps going every month, whether we have patients or not. So we have to charge. I mean, I'm not going to try to explain why we have to charge because that's common sense. And if you don't have the common sense to realize that this is a business and we're doing this, and we have to pay bills, then I wish I could help you. Not only $100, it's 3 days hotel, it's $160 in gas, there's a back that's already $1,000 just going out there. Again, yeah, I mean, how much is it to stay close to you? And then if you stay close to you and you don't get the results that you want, how much is it going to cost you to fix it? I mean, I know what you're considering. I get it. There's a cost for that, but there's a cost for traveling out of the country or traveling down to to Mexico, and they make you stay there for 7 days or 2 weeks or however long they ask you to stay there. There's cost to all this stuff, and inflation. If you want me to go through all of our costs and nitpick with you, then we can do that as well. But I'm not trying to do that. This is what we got to charge. I'm sorry. Sorry. But I think ultimately, if you want to get these type of results, then you have to go to the places that they do those type of things. And if you want it for cheap, then you're going to go get whatever they offer for cheap. And it may not be this results, which means that you spend less. But if you don't get the results that you're wanting, then who cares? What's it worth then? It's not worth anything. You spent less money to get something where you're not happy with the situation. You're going to need to spend more money to fix it. So you got to think this all the way through. If you get stuck on like $100 consultation fee, if that's holding you up, then you gotta think through the whole process here and realize that it's not just a one day thing. It's an ongoing process. We also have our support group that is ongoing. We're helping you before the procedure. We're helping you after the procedure, and it's like a family. I'm there for you. I'm always available. You get my cell phone numbers. You get direct contact with me with text, email, as well as calling. So it's all available for you. I think there's great value to our pricing. Lots of people are happy with it. So I'm sorry if you are not misdoing me. What's up, Kesha, Jeffrey, Lupita, Alicia, Shannon Huddle? Welcome to the group. Ms. Jimenez. Modern Surgical Alerts. Welcome. Is that like one of my competitors spying on me? No, it's funny because I know that a lot of my competitors, they don't share their techniques. They don't explain to patients exactly what they're doing and how they're doing. They like to keep this illusion that they are doing something magical that nobody else can do. And I have an opposite thought. I'm going to tell you all that I can do, and if one of my competitors is here watching, they're going to hear the words that I'm saying, but they can't figure out the technique. That's all hands-on stuff. So I can tell you all day long, and maybe you can figure it out. It took me years to figure it out, and maybe you can figure it out on your own. I'm just going to tell you with the words, and maybe they can figure it out. I hope so, because the truth is I listened to Elon Musk talk about Tesla, and he's created their technology is open source, so he's allowing everybody to use his technology, and the patents that they have, they are open patents, which means that he wants to help the entire world. And it's the same thing with me. I'm looking to change the world. So what I do is this: I can change these individuals one step at a time. Now, I wish I could create an army of myself. I wish I could replicate myself. It's just proving to be not that easy. Apparently what I do is a lot more difficult, and other people just can't do it. I've tried. I trained a lot of doctors, and they can't get the results. And they come, they go, and I'm still here. I'm still getting these results, and it's consistent. If I could get somebody else to get these kind of results and get them consistently, it would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So competitors, if you guys are here, call me up. I want to help. I need help. So let's work together. And with that being said, we also like to work with influencers. We've had a couple influencers over the years, and I'm happy to help you. As an influencer, we help them to grow their platform. When they do procedures and share their experiences, it helps them to grow their platform because it creates great content for them. So even if maybe you're not an influencer yet and you want to become an influencer, this is a great platform to propel you into the future, to help you gain a lot of followers. It's good content. People want to hear this stuff, and they want to see your journey and see how you are doing with everything. So to have an individual to share their content, share their story, share their journey publicly is, I think, very valuable, and you'll probably get a lot of followers out of it, which then can propel you into the future with your influencing life. All right, we're gonna wrap this up here soon. What's up, Delgado Divia? Navarrete, welcome. Ida Gutierrez, Xiomara, Miss Jimenez, S. Rex, thank you all for stopping by today. The fun thing when I see these pictures, it just makes you realize that the changes that people that happen with them it's more than just a liposuction, right? With your ability to wear different clothes, it allows you to feel different, right? When you're this heavier set girl, you wear those type of clothes because you feel a certain way, meaning you're covering up because you're embarrassed of whatever you're embarrassed of. So you try to drape this big moo cloth over top of you, um, so nobody can see what's underneath. So if you have these like speed bumps and ba-dumps and rolls all over the place, when you wear these big drapey stuff, it's hard to see that stuff, and so you get to believe that you're hiding this stuff from other people so they don't see. But the truth is that when you see these individuals like this, you already know. We all know, right? And I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but it's in our society, what we've been taught to do is that when you see somebody that you know is insecure, that you stay away from that thing, that you don't look at it, you don't speak about it, you avoid. So our society has been taught, if you want to get along with people, you avoid their insecurities. So what I'm suggesting is that all those insecurities that you think you were hiding, they're just being people. Other people are avoiding them, and you're not really hiding them. So it's a totally different feeling when that belly just doesn't exist, and you don't have to hide it anymore. Then it's like it's fair game for feeling good about yourself. Let's see, Brittany Bianca says, should I get a BBL first before 360 lipo? No, in fact, you have to do the liposuction with the fat transfer. So BBL is Brazilian butt lift. Again, these are just words. These words, what are done is we do liposuction, and typically when I do a fat transfer to the butt or BBL, at minimum you should be treating the waistline, so the stuff around the waist and on top of the butt and lower back, and that allows us to create the shape to the butt. So all the stuff up here in the waistline we want to take away through liposuction, and you can see how it allows you to create the shape of the butt. And then the shape down here, all this stuff is created through liposuction, is carving out the shape, and then the volume is added with the fat. So I would recommend, if you're the right size. Now it depends on how big you are, Brittany. If you're too big, then we may have to break it up into multiple procedures. But if you're small enough, we can do 360 lipo in one procedure and the fat transfer or the BBL at the same time, and that's when you're going to get the absolute best results, because we can carve out that hourglass figure. I can create the shape to your butt and carve out that natural arch to your lower back, and it's incredible. It really is incredible. Quick results. You can see this stuff pretty quickly. Smaller individuals, it's really cool because it's a small change makes a big dramatic change. It's and it's funny because when you're small like this, all your friends are like, "You're so small, you don't need this," and they hate on you, and they make you feel bad, they make you feel insecure for even thinking of doing stuff like this. But then afterwards, it's like body is booming. You got this banging body that all of a sudden now your friends are like, "Damn, maybe I should get this." And that's what it's all about, right? That's how we grow as a business. We grow from referrals. So all of my patients, all of them, you guys are walking billboards for me. That's why I bust my ass to make sure that we get you the best possible results, because it reflects on me. It would be stupid of me to rush through things and get in and do a half-ass job just to get your money, because then you walk around and people are like, "Ew, that's gross. Look at that. No, I don't want that. Where did you go?" And you're like, "Oh, don't go there. This place sucks." But if you're happy, it's like, yeah, everybody come. And that's how we grow. That's how our business keeps getting better. And about 60% of our patients are from referrals. So it's worked well. So we take care of our previous patients. We try to keep them happy, and we do everything that we can to keep you coming back. And again, this is not it's not like we just get you in, do the procedure, and you're gone. We have our group, the support group, where it's expected that you stay in there, share your story, but then being in the group holds you accountable. Once you get this procedure and you're involved in the group, now you got all the other girls watching you. And they're watching you because they can't wait to see you do better. They can't wait to see you advance. And they're just hoping that your next post is going to be better than the last one. And so what that does to you from a psychological standpoint is you feel obligated then to continue to grow and advance. You feel obligated to make the right decisions at the right time, because you know that everybody else is watching you. And you don't want to be that person that falls off the wagon and a year later is like, I'm coming back to get liposuction on the same area again because I got fat. That happens, it sucks. Don't let it happen to you. You have to learn these lessons so you don't make the same mistakes. And you don't have to make the mistakes that other people make. That's why it's good to hear. It's good to hear what the mistake is and see that other people had that problem, so then you don't have to make the problem. You know, I'm the type of person that I always have to make my own mistakes. And I made a bunch of mistakes over the years, but I learned from all of them. So that's the way I did it. Uh, and I was very aggressive at making mistakes, and I'm not scared of making mistakes. In fact, to me, a mistake is just getting one step closer to the solution. So for me, that works. For you, most people try to avoid making mistakes, avoid those issues. So for you, it might make more sense to learn from other people's mistakes so you don't make the same mistakes. I mean, I wish I could do that more, but I'm hard headed, and I try to learn from other people's mistakes. But I believe that I'm in a league of my own, and to prove it to myself, I do things differently. See, Brittany Bianca says, I've been following you for like 2 years. Can't wait to meet you. Awesome. That's funny because it says that you're anniversary follower, whatever that means. But I guess anniversary would indicate year over year. But Facebook's got their own terminology, right? Lovely Claude, you're definitely interested. So, Lovely Claude, definitely your next step. You want to get the quick quote, and when you're ready to move forward, that formal consultation. That's the next step for us to propel you into the future. Now, you can get these procedures scheduled fairly quickly for us. We like to accommodate people quickly. I don't like to get booked out for too far, because I know people like these procedures quickly. It's like when you make that decision that you want to get lean, and you finally make a decision. I mean, like, you may be thinking about it now, but when you finally make that decision, it's all you can think about. Once you put that down, that deposit down, it's like, oh, it's on, baby. And all you have to do is show up at that point. All you got to do is show up. You put that deposit down, you make the final payment, and you just got to show up. Once you get onto my table, everything else will be taken care of for you. You just got to let me do my thing, let me do my magic. And these hands, I'm telling you, I don't even know how to explain how everything works, because all this stuff is up here and it's in my mind. It's all subconscious. I do this stuff. It's just repetition. I've done it thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times. And when I've done it, my body just does. I just do. And it makes it really easy for me. I really don't have to think a whole lot about what I'm doing, because I already know the shapes that I'm creating. So all I have to do is my eyes need to see you, which is why I need you in your proper positions. I have this stuff dialed in to a T. I'm not an OCD type person at all, in my opinion. Maybe I am, I don't know, but I don't believe I am. I don't believe I'm very OCD about many things. However, with liposuction, I'm very regimented. I'm very disciplined. I do everything exactly the same way. And with that's done, and I was taught this through surgical training. I used to do orthopedic surgery before this, and so working on a bigger team, we did lots of repetition. And when you work with a team, everybody has to do things consistently, or else nobody knows what you're doing. And there's, it doesn't work well. So when I'm consistent, everyone else around me knows exactly what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, how I'm going to do it. Very, very consistent. And what that does is it allows for the process to be smoother and easier. Everybody knows what to do when we have issues, which issues happen, but we already know what to do when those issues happen because we've had them multiple times. So it makes the whole process easier for you, for me, for the staff. It's a good deal. So thank you guys so much for watching. Brittany, I appreciate you following me for this long. And thank you, those of you who are ready to move forward. You want to get that quick quote for the pricing, and then the next step is getting that formal consultation. That formal consultation, just get in there and talk to me. Once we talk, I'll explain to you what is possible for you based off of my experience and what I've seen from all these thousands of patients that I've done before. That's the value of paying me $100 to talk to me. You'll get my opinion, and not only that, I'm going to create a plan that's specifically on how to reach the goal that you want. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.